Carolina. Jennings is a livestock extension specialist at North Carolina State University. He resides in Kenly, North Carolina with his wife Allison and their 2 sons. He's a graduate of Butler Community College and North Carolina State. Brett, wave to our crowd today. Brett? Wave to our crowd. Most of you signed Swords and Goats yesterday. He told me privately that he thought that this was a very, very, very high quality show. We're excited to have him here sorting our does today. He always appreciates the opportunity to judge young people and give back every chance he can. Thank you, Brent. Here's your first class.
We need class 2 of our does over here at the scale. Class 2 of the does. Madison Ramirez. Madison Ramirez, need you for class 2 of the does. Madison Ramirez.
Well, good morning, everyone. And certainly, I guess it's the middle of the day. It's the first thing I've done today, so kind of morning to me still. But, man, what a nice way to start this deal off with. And lots of very highly presented females out here and very high quality, probably one of the deeper classes we've seen over the last 2 days. And I tell you, sorting these babies or these younger does like this ain't always the funnest because none of them are broke great. They all want to fight a little bit, so it's a little hard in determining some issues and angles and feet and watching them go. You got to do the best you can and standing still. And I think as we sort all those things out together, this is the lineup at least that I'm the most comfortable with today. The doe we start with, I'm not going to tell you she's ever going to be the prettiest one, and I wish I could change her there. I think we need to tuck her chest floor up ever so slightly. I think we need to move her blade in just a nickel there to make her better and a little taller at the point of her shoulder. But you're talking about one that's big from there back. I mean, her rib cage is so robust, and the sweep to her midrib and the way she's designed back out of her hip and her pin. And I still read her to be adequate in terms of her look from the outside. I don't think she's ugly at all. I just don't read her quite as feminine and attractive as the two behind her, for sure. The one that's standing in second is certainly the better looking one through the chest floor, maybe the way she's designed up through her shoulder blade there. Don't read her being quite as powerful. I'd like to, if we could change her, it's the middle of her body. We'd like to change the shape to her rib, and that's where we make her a little more unique there for me. The doe coming out in third, if you want to take a picture, there's the one to do it with. I don't know how you can present one any better. I don't know how you can fit one any better than that right there. I mean, she's lights out. You put your hands on her, she's not quite as impressive. She's got quite a bit of hair there. I do love the design. I love the front third of that doe. The way her shoulder lays into her chest floor, she's just jacked up, short-bladed, angular. When I read her as being very attractive and feminine, we just put a touch more muscle, and not so much muscle for me, but we need to change her rib shape from a 3/4 angle right in the middle of her body. Now, the way they got her clipped in, you wouldn't read that from the outside, but I promise you, if you get up on her and really push that hair down just a nickel, we need to change that ever so slightly. But that's an awful good female we're going to send out of here in 3. The one in 4 is one that puts together a lot of positives, and I like your doe a lot, young man. But I'm going to just be honest with you, I have a lot of trouble reading her and when we get her out in motion, because all she does is hump her down, pull her neck in, and when she does that, her blade comes out too wide and coarse for me. And that's where I pick on her. But standing there like that, man, I'm all in. I like that one a whole bunch from a side profile. I think she's one of the truer and honest ones in terms of her muscle shape. It's just for me, when we put her into motion, she tucks and she comes apart in her shoulder, and that's why she ends up being in 4. The one in 5, man, this one kind of comes in and garners my attention because of the front third of her body. I think she's very correct in terms of her angles, in terms of being shallow-bladed and really attractive up through the front third of her body. As I read her head and her skull, I read her to be just a notch more mature than the ones right ahead of her, but more critically, it's the way she's made her angles, and you can see her hop there. She's too tight when we get her out and get her into motion. She doesn't want to flex and go quite as good as the ones ahead of her, and that's where we change her at to get her up higher for me today. From there, we got some more does that we could certainly talk about. I think in terms of being very, very highly presented out here in a very high quality set, it's just the subtle differences for me in terms of body and maybe the way they get around today that sort them out. But that's a tough set. This is going to be a fun doe show to sort through. I commend all of you on bringing out a really high quality set to start the day.
Seventh place, Seth Hilfiger. 8th place, Cassie Jo Fadley. 9th place, Ava Kennan. 10th place, Taylor Wilson. Congratulations, and judge, you have 15 head in the second class.
Class 3, please head to the scale and C4 to check in.
Class 3, breeding does.
For class 3 of the does, we need Piper Fisher and Marin Moore. Piper Fisher and Marin Moore. Need your does for class 3. still looking for Piper Fisher. Piper Fisher, 83-pound doe for class 3. Need to have you up here at scale. Class is about to go.
You know, another interesting set to evaluate here, and some give and take. Depending on where you want to lay your priorities, I guess you could do things a little differently than me, but ultimately I land on one I'm very, very comfortable with here. I like this doe a bunch. I really, really like her from the outside. I like her balance and her profile look there, and then I think we pull her into motion. She sets the bar out here and puts them down, plants them with some authority as you watch her go away from you. Just hits them really true and honest, and then you get in and get your hands on her. There's something to that female. It's not just hair there. She's got some shape. She's got some whip. She's big in her hip and her pin. I like that doe to win pretty quickly in my mind, and then it's to sort in the next 4 what we had to do. The doe in second, I guess, as I analyze her, I think she's the most fault-free of the next 4. I think as you study her at the ground and you watch her go, you study her from the side, I like that look of balance and correctness. Not nearly as powerful as the one right ahead of her. Maybe not quite as good looking as the one right behind her, but I certainly think as a combination of those traits, she does the best job, and that's why she ends up being in 2. The one in 3, I love her from this right here. I mean, from a profile, I'm all in. I like that look. I think she's balanced. She runs uphill. I guess as we study her down at the ground, it's a little bit of her knee. She wants to turn her knee out when she goes. She wants to plant them a little too far out for me. If we could correct that ever so slightly, I'd like that a little better. And then we'd like to change her body shape there a little bit. She's good in terms of right there, her forerib, but back into her midrib and back towards her flank, you can see it. She just needs to be a little softer and a little rounder there for me. And that's where some sure advantages lie in the one here in 4. Certainly some class-leading advantages in terms of muscle and rib shape, just power. I mean, that one's got all the power in the world. And then I appreciate the fact she doesn't have a lot of hair, so what you see is what you get. And there is a ton of muscle in there, but at the same time comes with all that power. She's a little rounder in her shoulder. She's a little coarser in her build there, but I still read her as being a phenomenal brood doe for the young lady, but just for me gives up a little look of balance from the outside versus those 3 ahead of her. The one in 4, she walks in, and buddy, I guarantee you she's going to get your attention. The young lady does a phenomenal job pulling her together every time, standing still just like that. It's her hind leg, though, I'm not a huge fan of. From her hooks to her pins, the way she's designed, and then you watch her go at her hock there, she just doesn't want to set it down with enough authority. And I caught that right when she walked in, and it didn't leave my mind, and that's my problem. Now, when you get your hands on her, she's got something there. She's not fraud at all. She's clipped and presented very nicely, but she's got some shape there. We just need to change them hind 2 just ever so slightly. The young lady's got one in 6. We don't normally talk down that far, but I certainly think she deserves it. One that's really long-bodied, and with all that extra length of body, she gets a little dip right behind her shoulder, more so than those ahead of her. If we could actually shorten her up a rib, I think it would make her balance look a little nicer from the outside. I think just a personal preference. You don't hear a lot of people talk about making them shorter body, but I think it would add a little bit to her look there, just ever so slightly. Good set of does here. Congratulations to all of them.
Second place, Hannah Garcia. Third place, Piper Liska. Fourth place, Sandra Klinger. Fifth place, Samantha Leard. Sixth place, Mirren Ludlow. Seventh place, Elenia Barger. Eighth place, Braden Schroeder. Ninth place, Kylie Donovan. 10th place, Karsten Wagner. Now entering the ring, Class 3.
Those of you that were first and second in classes 1 and 2, glad you head this way in just a couple of minutes. From class 1, Abby Partridge and Andy Bianchi. Class 2, Chancellor Johnson and Hannah Garcia. Following class 3, we will do a division champion, and then we will bring class 4 up here. You're certainly welcome to come. We just won't put you into the holding area quite yet. Okay, if we can get those class 1 and 2, first and second up here into the holding pen, please. Again, Abby Partridge, Abby Yankee, Chancelyn Johnson, and Hannah Garcia.
I'm going to do something just a little different. I'm going to talk about these two, and then I'm going to tell you how I like them, because I'll just be honest with you, up to this point in time, there's not been a decision this close. And I'll tell you folks, as my wife said, I don't ever need to go to the casino and start gambling, because my poker face is not very good. And I tell you what, folks, these two hit the ring, and it's lights out. There was not much other decision other than these two are the best two in here, and how we're going to sort them. And they're not in order right now, so don't give them any ribbons. They're not. We're going to talk about them first, then we'll place them. But I'm going to tell you what, folks, if you like good livestock, and I don't care if you want to talk about sheep, goats, pigs, heifers, it don't matter. Y'all better get your game ready if you're going to bring some in here better than these the rest of the day, because these two right here are smoking good. And they're not exactly alike. They're just ever so slightly different. And I want to describe them to you at least the way I see them, and then I'll tell you how I like them. The young man here in the black shirt, On my right, man, that one is so good at the ground. She's stout-footed, big-legged, maybe just a little bigger in her foot and her bone. Really stout skull, wide-chested, round-bodied one here. Big-ended one. I mean, absolutely balanced for the side as good as you can make one. If you're going to pick on her at all, we're going to say her blade is not perfect in the top of her shoulder the way it lays in. Her neck is maybe not quite as unique as the one right behind her, and her relation from the top of her shoulder to her chest floor maybe not quite as unique as the one right behind her, but she is the stouter option of the pair. The one right behind her, how did you change that one in terms of her build? I don't know. Honestly, I don't know, and that's why I kept walking them. Because I just wanted to see the wheels fall off. I wanted to see something that I maybe was missing. And this one, just watch her go. She's so good at the ground. And the front third of her body is impeccable. The way her neck comes out the top of her shoulder. Well, then those of you ringside man say, well, she's got a fancy fit job, but she's not enough to her. Come run your hands down her back. I dare you to, because you'll be shocked. There's a big old back in that goat. Square loin edge, big pin in her. Phenomenal looking one. So, I honestly think we could take a coin out here and flip it. If we took a poll ringside, I'd say half of you like one of them, half of you like the other one, and I wouldn't argue with you. For me today, the one on my left's going to win this class. I like her front end a little better than the one on the right, but they're two smoking good does here. Congratulations to both of them. The one in third, I like this female a lot. You just run into the wrong class of the day, I'd say, young lady. But one that's stout and big back, she's as wide as any. Wide underneath, round body. But she is a shorter option. She's a little shorter loin, a shorter from her hooks to her pins. And I picked on the doe in the last class and said I'd like to make her shorter. Unfortunately, I said I'd like to make hers just a real longer because she is compact. But man, she's going to make an awful nice female. Brood though, wide, the kind that's very functional and very, very high quality. The one right behind her is the most exotic one we've seen in this particular class. If you just want to talk about big and long, she is that. Really tall stomach, but comes with all that extra length. She's a little narrow at the ground. So you're coming at you, going away from her. She needs to be opened up for me. But I love her look. I love her balance from the side. I just like to make her just an option with a little stouter. The one right behind her is got a little stouter. That one's got some shape to her. She's bold in terms of her ribs. It's her feet and legs I'm not in love with there. Want to turn out on both ends, actually. Just a hot little slightly. And I'll tell you, young lady, if you run into a lot of classes, you can win them with a doe like that, and I'd be very comfortable using one, but I've got to be real particular when you run into a class that's just this deep and this high quality. So, awesome set of does. Some of the same can be said for the one coming out of here in the sixth. Really, really high quality one there. I'd like to congratulate them all. Awesome set of goats in that particular class.
Amanda Leard, 7th place Abby Bianchi, 8th place Piper Fisher, 9th place Anna Stratton, and 10th place Kennedy Wagner. We'll now take our last three classes and select a champion Division 1, Grand and Reserve.
tell you folks, as I get them back out here, I couldn't be more pleased. And honestly, from the first class, I thought that was a really, really deep set of does there that had some high quality ones all the way down. The second class, man, I thought that one walked out here, and I thought, man, that's just my kind right there. She'd be the one to beat today, and I love her a bunch. I really, really like that female that wins the second class and the one that's second tour. And then you run into the third class, and as we talked about, I don't want to get too long-winded here, but man, they're not too hateful to look at from the outside. And I hope those of you standing ringside that can appreciate high-quality livestock can see that. And again, man, I got two little boys at home that stay after me all the time and say they want to raise goats. And we raise some sheep right now, and they want to do the goat thing. And man, I'd be real tickled to have any one of these that to start a program with, because I think you could build around them. And so I'm excited what the rest of the day is going to hold in those show. But there's no question which two are my favorite two. Congratulations, these two out of the last class.
Congratulations, our grand champion came in at Class 3, Tate Fittner, and our reserve champion at Class 3, Rise Ludlow. Congratulations.
Class 4 should be in the check-in.
market goat, weighing from 88 to 93 pounds.
Last call, Trinity Bolger. If you have an 88-pound goat, need to be in the ring at this time. Class 5, need to have you here at the scale, class 5. Ergnani with a 94-pound goat. Class 5, Trinity Bolger, Zaylin or Salit, Ergnani.
Another awful good set of does here, and some give and take. Ultimately, for me, it ends up with a pair of them at the top of this particular group, and I think are awful close. And, we could discuss the differences, and if you like them different than me, I wouldn't argue a great deal here. The one I elected to start with, I think she's just exotic in terms of the front third of her body and the way she's designed through her shoulder blade there, really tucked up and tidy through her chest floor, breastplate's laid back in her awful neat. And you just see how her neck comes out really high at the top of her shoulder blade there. And then when you get in and get your hands on her, she's definitely the stouter option of that pair, just in terms of her width and big old square back in that doe, big hip and pin in her. If I'm going to pick on her at all, I think she's got just a nickel extra set to her hind leg. I think a little bit of that is where they glued her leg and the young lady sets it. She's pushed that hair down in her hock, and it makes it look more evident that she's got a little extra set. But when we get her into motion, she does. She's just got a tick more than I would deem ideal. But that's where I like the doe here coming out in second. I love this one to watch her go. This one comes into motion phenomenal in terms of setting them down square. She's presented just immaculately, one that's really shallow and correct as well. When you read her, though, in relation to the one that beats her, she's not nearly as stout and powerful. Right over her loin there, not big in her pin. Maybe a little better, like we say, in her hip and her hind leg than the class winner, but just don't see quite as much true width and dimension as the one that wins. The one here in third is a stout one. Now, this one's got something to her. You won't hear anybody dispute that. And study her rib cage and her chest floor there. The width she has at the ground. I like those females that stand out on their corners, and she does that awful well. but comes with that extra base width as she gets a little open and bold in the point of her shoulder. And you can see that. And the young lady in particular gets her into motion. You see her blade come up a little more than what I would deem ideal. But that's an awful nice female. It's going to make a really good brood doe. She balances up extremely well from the outside. Also, the one that's going to come out in 4. Now, I'll just be honest, I didn't pull that one in my initial sorting. The young lady looked at me like I was crazy when I didn't, but I studied that doe just a little harder and kept watching her, and she just grew on me. And a little bit of it, she's got that old rough hair coat, and it doesn't add to her look at all out here, honestly, but you study the female for what she is. She's got plenty of shape and muscle, really correct up to her front end. For me, she's the one that's a little more restricted, though, maybe not quite as relaxed in her angles as the ones ahead of her. She wants to get a little tighter as you watch her go out of her hip and off her hind leg. But that's an awful nice female, again, that balances up extremely well from the outside. And you can see her hock issue right there. If you're standing over here, you can see she's just a little too straight. The one going to come out of here in 5, man, we got some power here. The young lady's got a big forearm in her, one that's certainly round-bodied and big back as well. Comes at you and goes away from you with some extra base width and foot and bone. But with that, again, look at the point of her shoulder. She gets pretty broad and coarse there. We can lay her blade in there and make her more tidy up to her front end. She's certainly the roundest and least ladylike, I guess, of those initial 5, and that's where we need to just pick on her, make her a little more flatter, neater, more feminine, attractive about that front 1/3. But that's still an awful nice female. Going to make a really nice brood doe for the young lady. We will talk to 1 in 6 as well. I think she's deserving. That's one that intrigues me a lot when she walked in. I love the balance of that doe. I love the correctness of her. And I think for one that gets out and goes really, really well, she's out in her corners. But when we analyze her versus those top 5, she runs out of gas. She just doesn't have quite enough horsepower to get up here any higher today. But that's an awful good set of goats. Congratulations to all of them.
Trinity Bolger, you're supposed to have a goat in Class 5. For those of you in the doe show, the grand drive will happen at 2:30. And since we need to take our judge over there, the doe show will stop after the division, after Class 6, and then the division, and then we will have to stop the doe show so that we can go to the grand drive for the weather. So, be prepared. Apologize if you got your does up, but time-wise, we're not going to have enough time to get through any deeper than 6 and that division. Last call, Trinity Bolger. If you're bringing a doe for Class 5, you need to be here now.
Class 4, first place, Tiffany Sunday. Second place, Courtney Costello. Third place, Katie Matsumoto. Fourth place, Katie Matsumoto. Fifth place, Maddie Griffiths. Sixth place, Riley Hoyle. Seventh, Piper Liska. Eighth, Marion Moore. Ninth, Blake Early. 10th, Kennedy Wagner.
Okay, exhibitors and the goats, just a quick change of plans. The pigs are running late, so the sale or the champion drive will start late. The goats will be the last species, so we will finish the doe show before the wethers or the market goats have to go over there. Apologize for the confusion, but upper management, the stock's there, so we will finish the doe show. And then the market goats will be the last species in the champion drive.
Well, folks, as we get over here and another really high quality set of does here to evaluate, it comes down to 4 or 5 of them here, at least for me. You got to make some decisions. One thing that's constant in my mind is the doe that wins the class. I like her the best by some margin. I like her balanced look and attractiveness from the side, and then she's the one that puts that together with a lot of power. That was big back, big ended one here, the square. She hits the ground honest and true as you watch her go away from you. I think she balances extremely good to go with it. I think a very logical place to start. Second, third's where it gets closer, for me at least. The doe here in second, maybe not quite as powerful. Right out of her blade, maybe not quite as strong in terms of the turn to a rib cage there. But I do like the fact that she is better about her shoulder and shorter in terms of the way she's designed through her chest floor. I think I read her to get out and go very well. Also, one that just puts together an awful neat package there to come out of here in 2. The 1 and 3, there's times that I really dig her, like steel planted right there. I'm all in. I think that's a stallion that's big-footed and wide-faced. It's when we put her into motion, she wants to tuck her shoulder and go down. She wants to run downhill a little more than I would deem ideal. We need to lengthen her out of her front end there ever so slightly and change her there up to her shoulder and the neck and head for me. Make her more attractive there, and I think we can change it because from her shoulder back, I really like that female a whole lot. That's an awful high quality one coming out of here in 3. Go cool, neat colored one coming out in 4. Man, you're talking about the front third of one that you do like, and I don't know how you can make the front third of a goat any better than that. And if you just want to tie into attractive ones, I could buy that. You know, she's really good there. From there back, she was the flattest and the narrowest one of those initial 4, though there ain't no question about it. When you put your hands on her, she's the least impressive. She's the narrowest over the one to go with it. But we just need to give her more natural shape to run with that trio ahead of her. But I do like her balance look an awful lot from the side. We're going to come out of here in 5. This one's the other end of the spectrum. And it's always neat to have you kind of flip your coins here and do it different ways. We could move this bell up a part or 2 if you'd like, if you just want to tie into her power, because she is big back and round body. But you can see her problem right there. She's tucking her neck down. She wants to get too open in the top of her blade. You can see it when we put her into motion more critically. You can see her shoulder blades start working just a little more than I would deem ideal. But that's one that's got a whole lot from there back. When you got that much to boost, you got to have something to pull it with. So she's got a little more shoulder up front. But I still think a real high quality one will come out of here in 5. I won't talk the rest of them, but I will say in 6 and 7, 2 real high quality ones as well. Maybe just give up a little bit of look and balance to the ones above them today. But excellent set of those. Congratulations to all of them.
Carsten Wagner, to the announcer's stand, Carsten Wagner.
Class 6.
just a phenomenal set of females here, and really comes down to some personal preferences. And one that we started the class off with, I know at this weight, she's not the longest one ever. She's not going to be the biggest doe ever. But is she the best one out here? And there's no question in my mind, at least. I think she is. I like her balanced look from the side. I like the way she sits down at the ground. I think she's the most honest and true. As you watch her go, she's square at the ground. You watch her at her feet, then you watch her up through her chest force. She's the widest and one that's got the right kind of angles. And then you put your hands on her, and she's the most impressive one. There ain't no question about it. She is the most impressive one to touch. Now, if we're going to get picky on her, as I said, we'd lift her front end up, make her just a nickel taller there at the point of her shoulder, maybe lengthen her out just ever so slightly. But that's an awful nice female to win this particular class. And though there in second, when the young lady puts her in motion, I love the front third of her. I love the exotic look she brings to the table. You can see her problem, though. When you study her long enough, she wants to kind of go up in her spine right there in her loin, and that's because of her hind leg just being a nickel too straight. And we see that more evidently when we get her into motion. The way she handles her hock and her hind leg, you can see it, and that's the cause of it. It makes her loin go up like that, because she is just a nickel too straight. I like to soften her there in her hock and her angle ever so slightly, but that one is big back, she's shapely, round rib, shallow. She is neater up front than the class winner, but I like the soundness of the one that wins just a nickel better today. But if you like that one because of her look, I can see that as well. That's an awful nice female going out of here in 2. In 3, the old cape-fronted doe here is one that has some merit from her shoulder back. She's very shapely, very true, got a kind of big old jump muscle. Excuse me there. One that's got a lot of honest shape and square at the ground. You can see it though, right at the top of her shoulder. She gets just a little rough in the way her neck ties into the top of her shoulder. That's being awful critical on a really good female, but at this stage, that's where we're going to pick on her at. We change her right there in the way her neck goes into her shoulder, but that's an awful nice one. It's going to go out of here in 3. In 4, we got some power. This one's got something to her. Old gal sets down with some authority, big old foot and legs on that one. But with that, again, it gets a little coarser for me. This one ain't quite as attractive as the one this young lady brought us earlier. This one's a little coarser at the point of her shoulder, reads a little plainer down her top line as well. Not quite as shapely in terms of her muscle for me. But that's being, again, picking on one that's certainly going to make an awful nice female. The red hip doe here coming out in 5, flagging pretty hard for us today. One that wants to fight her just a little bit, but one that is massive in terms of width at the ground, big bone, one that's very attractive up front. I don't see the shape though. I don't see the muscle shape, particularly as we study her from her hooks to her pins. I see her being wide. I just like to give her a notch more shape and then actually trim her up just a nickel right over her forerib for me as we analyze her. But that's an awful nice doe. I thought this was a challenging set to sort through, and I could see where a guy could tie into this old doe and get her up a few more spots. Wouldn't argue with you a great deal because she is very high quality. Great set of females here from top to bottom. Congratulations to all of them.
Does class 7 at the scale now. Does class 7. Again, here for the goat show, we will get through the entire goat show before the goats go over to the grand drive. So sheep at about 2:15, hopefully I'll have a little information for you, but the goats will not go over until after the goat show is completed. So again, sheep hang tight for further announcements.
Tell you, as we get out here for this division, I think another really high quality set. All of these does bring some true merit to the table. Got to be real proud of to breed her own. You know, the one we started with, the first class, we talked about her front third of her body being unique and massive from her belly back and really big-ended, one big hip, one that's got a lot of natural bone and foot. If we're going to pick on her, as we said, maybe just a nickel extra set, but I still see her as being very sound and athletic on the move. I think that's certainly one that's going to come into contentions out here right now. I think a very, very high quality one. The one that was second to her, we like that one, just didn't see quite the power we do in the class winner there. So I love her build, I love her angularity, like the way she sits down. The one here out of the second class, another one that's got something to her. This one's got some stoutness and power. One that's really long bodied and extended. One that's got some extra length there and still really shallow. The one that wants to toe out of her front end, just a nickel as we study her more up through her knee and the way she's designed there in her shoulder. Part of that comes with the fact that she's really short-bladed, and that'll make them do that sometimes, and that's the result of that. The one that was second in that class, another one was really, really high quality, nice balanced one, just didn't have any faults. And then out of class 3, we got one here that's got some power. Maybe not the prettiest one that we've ever seen, but I think the more I study her, the more I think she is very attractive. She's just like I say, from her shoulder back, she is unbelievably massive. And in terms of the turn to her top and her shape, she's unbelievable. And I think she sets it down with an awful lot of authority and very, very sound at the ground to go with it. I like that about her a tremendous amount. The one that was second to her we talked about, I think if I'm going to just talk about the look of one, I love the look of that female from the side. I just got to make her loin flex just a little better and drop her spine down, change her off of her hind leg there just a little bit. So this particular set, I think a guy could go out here and pick any one you like, honestly. And I don't know that there's a right and a wrong answer. I do think there's one that's just a little different than what maybe I picked in the last division. But I think one when we start thinking about checking all the boxes or doing our totals and which one has the most of them, I think there is one that does that the best for me. You know, even though we maybe change her ever so slightly, and I think the same can be said for the one I'm going to use for reserve. Maybe not perfect, but awfully good. So congratulations to all of them. A good set of those. The one out of class 3 is going to be your champion. Congratulations to that young lady. We're going to go right ahead of her in the class right 2. Is going to be your reserve. Congratulations to her. Nice job.
Again, class 7, need your does up here. Good Betsy Swagger, Elena Santiago, Hannah Walker's a scratch, Billy Swagger.
Congratulations, our Division 2 champion, Carly Wheeler, reserve champion, Bessie Swager. Class 7, prepare to enter the ring.
Class 8 still looking for Cassie Joe. We know she's on her way. Garrett Bowe, Marissa Smith, Katie Matsumoto.
you know, it's one of those classes, I guess everybody's going to have their preferences out here, and then I can understand that. I wouldn't argue with you if you go as far as to those that are 6th, 7th in class and said those are your favorites. And I would say I can understand that because each one of these brings ESCs to the table, I guess. But for me, what I try to do is find the ones that just put the combination of traits together, and I think this doe does that for me out here. And I've picked on a few of this young lady's doe she brought to me on the way they got around, and I'm not going to say this was perfect, but I think she balances extremely well. She's very open up at the ground. She's straight and true as she goes away from him. And man, she's got something to her. Her balance and look from the side, I think, is as good as any out here, and I like that about her to go ahead and win this particular class. The doe in second didn't strike me that hard when she walked through the gate. I didn't know she had enough to her. But when you get up and you get your hands on her, she certainly does. That doe's got a big old shape to her, probably more terminal shape than the one right ahead of her. For me, when I want to pick on her, though, as we watch her go away from me, she doesn't set them down quite as true right there at her hock. You can see it, particularly on her non-show side hock when she sets it down. Excuse me, she sets it down. She's supposed to turn them in ever so slightly, but I think that's an exotic one. It's truly hard muscle, and it brings a lot of very positives to the table. And that's a close decision for me, and I really, really like that top pair of does. You can sort them differently if you like. The one coming out of here in 3 is a hard one to get a good look at because she just pushes so hard. And that's why I asked the young man to let up on her. You do a great job showing. She just wants to drive so hard, she wants to roll the top up. And I wasn't sure if that's just her pushing so hard or what it is. But from her shoulder back, that's one massive creature. Round body, big back, shapely, heavy muscle, big-footed one here. And I love all those things about her. I like to lay her spine down ever so slightly. I like to clean her up through her chest floor, take a little external fat off of her. I trim her up right there. But that's being critical on a female. The young man's done an awful good job with, and that was going to do an awful good job down the road for him as well. The one coming out in 4, this one, when she walked in, I love her balanced looking. When she gets propped up, I think that one is deadly from the side. I don't know how you can make one any better from her blade to her hook bones there and stronger for a goat to be that level and square. And when we start analyzing her, though, in terms of her foot and her bone work in relation to the 3 above her, she's easily, let me say, of the top 6 or 7, she's the most refined in her foot and her bone. I'm not going to call her frail because I don't think she is, but she is the most refined. But at the same time, she's very ladylike. But if we're going to change her, I want to set her down on more foot and bone and substance, make her just a notch wider at the ground as well. But she's got a big old back in her, and that's what surprised me when I went in and put my hands on her the first time. She has more to her than I was expecting, honestly, and a really, really good fitting one there as well. The one going to come out of here in 5, here's a power goat. The same can be said for 5 and 6. Those 2 have an awful lot to them. And if you want to need a female that's going to bring some mass and some power, study that one through her chest floor and her forearm and her rib shape and her body, all those things. But when you get that much power, we don't always have the best looking one, and she doesn't merit that as well from the outside. She gets a little coarser and plainer, and if we could change her and make her more attractive, same thing kind of goes for the one going to come out in 6. Both of them just need to be more feminine up to their front third of their body, but still like those females an awful lot. Hard to put them down that far when they're my kind with that much power. But awfully good set of goats there. Congratulations to all of them. Good job. Good job.
Class 9, we need you at the scale. Class 9, we need you at the scale.
Congratulations, Elena Santiago, first place. Second place, Macy Roselle. Third place, Casey Engelbolzen. Fourth place, Haley Albrecht. Fifth place, Betsy Swiger. Sixth place, Chancelyn Johnson. Seventh place, Sandra Klinger. Eighth place, Billy Swiger. Ninth place, Reagan Rogers. 10th place, Katie Lear. Congratulations, exhibitor. Now entering the ring, class 8. These are does weighing 115 to 122.
Okay, sheep folks, those of you in the Grand Drive, they want the lambs over at the swine barn at 3 o'clock. At 3 o'clock. So I need you to be over here, ready to go at 2:45. That gives you 30 minutes to get those sheep ready to go. So at 2:45, I want you over here at the scale, all those 10 lambs ready to go for the Grand Drive. The goats, still a little touch and go. That show could very well be over with, and we'll all go over as a group. We'll see how it plays out. But sheep for sure, be ready to go, and over here at the scale at 2:45.
Another good set of those here. Some differences in type as you go down through the class, but ultimately a pair of them for me to sort up. I like both of them quite a bit. I think, though, the one that wins just does so in a stouter features package. I think she is unique from the outside in terms of the way her chest floor is designed, the way you get off of her and her balanced look, and she's got that extra bone. And then when you study her in relation to the one that's second, she's just stouter everywhere. She's bolder ribs, she's rounder body, she's softer flank, and she's bigger back to go with it. I think just an awful nice class winner here. The one that comes out in second, I do like that female quite a bit. I'd like to change her to her midrib and back into her flank ever so slightly. I do think she's got a lot of that extra shape of muscle, just not quite the width and dimension you see in the power of the class winner, but that's a high quality one going out here in two. The one in three is another one. I like the balance and the look from the outside. I love the front third of her body. I think when you analyze her towards that pair, she doesn't handle her hind leg quite as good. I'd like to lift her up at the base of her tail ever so slightly, change her at her hock there. She wants to roll her spine up, and you can see that. Those of you that are behind me, you can see her old spine starting to get up ever so slightly. But man, I do like the look and the balance up through the front third of her body. The one coming out of here in four is probably the one that's is honest and true. Really a fresh-haired kind of female that's just got a lot of shape and expression. She's a little shorter coupled. She's a little rounder off both ends. Some of that's the fact she just doesn't have all that hair to hide some flaws. So usually what you see is what you get a little more. So I like that female a lot. I like to just flatten her out the shoulder ever so slightly and maybe lift her chest floor up. And she's a smaller one out here as well to go with it. But I still think a very high-quality one deserves to be in the top five, no question. The one in five, man, that front third of her body, this young lady's got some does that sure knows how to put a neck and a head on them. I mean, you study her through her shoulder and her blade, I'm all in. And she's clipped immaculately, level and square, tail's jacked up real high at the base of her tail. But when you really get in and analyze, she's an heiress one out here. No question about that in the top five. Study her in her knee and her hock. When she comes at you or goes away, she needs to be more pulled apart and opened up, more honest and true in terms of her natural shape for me. But fitted out from the side right here, I don't know how you make one any leveler and better from the side. That's an awful nice female. From there, the next young lady's got one I pulled as well. We're not going to talk them all. I like that one a lot when I went in and run my hands on her back, but that one's just getting a little plain and rough in terms of her line. When we watch her go, we need to just let her have more flexes on her hock. The young man's got one next in line too I need to talk about, because that one's stout. I mean, that's a round body with my kind. She's pushing the limits on her size right now. If we move her down about two classes, take a little condition off of her, she just got outpowered in terms of frame out here today. She needs to be a nickel bigger. But awful good set. Congratulations to all of them. Challenges set to sort through.
This is not coming in yet. We'll select our Division 9 champion after Class 9. Thank you. Do I make that many mistakes? You gotta correct me as I'm speaking. Class 9 is getting ready to enter the ring. What? I said 3? Oh, 10-4. Now I'm with you. Could somebody take this mic? Class 9 entering the ring now. We'll select our Division 3 champion immediately following. Previous winners, please come to the holding area, the stage for the Division 3 drive.
You know, this is one of those classes, I guess for days you'll scratch your head and wonder how you like them, and I'm certain everybody's got a difference of opinion here, and there's reason to be here. There's some lots of difference in these goats, and I won't tell you there's a perfect one out here. There's some really, really high quality ones at different stages in terms of condition, and that's where I'd like to change our class winner. Makes it a little harder for me because I'd like to trim her up. I'd like to take some off of her forerib and off of her chest floor, but man, you study her from the side one time, and she's not the biggest one ever. How big they need to be? She's big enough in my opinion, and she is massive. Her back shape is incredible, and for to having some condition down over her forerib, she's so massive. Those square in terms of her loin edge, really big hip and pin in that goat. One that's still to have some condition on her. I read hers to be balancing fairly well from the side. She's not the tallest fronted one. She's not the longest and most extended, but I think she puts the most positives together for me today. The young man's goat there in second is one that just kept growing on me. When you look for problems in her, you don't find many. She's probably the lightest muscle, one of the initial five. When you get your hands on her, she needs to be stouter and more shapely. But I think in terms of just having her good at the ground, she's sound, she balances very well, does a lot of things correct there. I'd like to change her though, right behind her shoulder, make her square in terms of her cage, make her stouter, and that's where the doe in third has a real advantage. This one is massive, wide at the ground, big footed and bone. I'd like to change her out of her hip and off of her hind tooth just ever so slightly. I'd like to also make her just a little more attractive as well. She's a little further along in terms of condition also, but one that's served pretty powerful nonetheless. The one coming out here in four, the old paint though, here's one, you get looks at her at times. I really liked her, and those times not so much. I'd like to stouten her foot and her bone work up. I just like to make her more powerful at the ground. For one to be, to have that much width up high, I'd like to see her come at you and go away just a little wider. I'd like to lengthen her out. She's in a lot of ways, she's very similar to our class winner from a balance standpoint from the side, but I just like to lift her up as well, make her a little neater through the front part of her body. But don't come out and fifth's the problem for me, and I won't argue with anybody that says that's the one they tie into and they like it at the top of the class. Because in terms of where she's at in condition, in terms of where she's at in her chest floor and her shoulder design, I love her. From there back, I don't. I need to change her right behind her shoulder. And the way she comes in, she wants to get her loin up too high, and she doesn't set her hind wheels down quite right. Her pastern's too long, and then part of it that makes her walk funny out here, this sand. She doesn't love it. I get that. She doesn't love it, and it just makes that her issues come more apparent to me when you watch her go. We'd like to change her there, but I do like the front third of the body. I like the trimness that doe has. I like her muscle shape and expression. We just need to change her when she gets around. The doe's going to come out in six is the powerful one here. I mean, there ain't no question. That's the bear claw, big-footed, stout-legged one here. I mean, she's got as much true width at the ground as any we've seen today. And I mean, for that reason, she's going to be a great breeding piece for that young lady. But for me today, she needs to be just a little neater everywhere we study her in terms of being more ladylike. She needs to be trimmer in terms of condition as well. But I tell you, that's an awful good class of goats from top to bottom. Congratulate all of them. Nice job.
Congratulations, our winners in Class 9. Morgan Riley, first place. Second place, Justin Bowe. Third place, Abby Partridge. Fourth, Seth Helfiger. Fifth place, Kira Rogers. Sixth place, Brooke Howard. Seventh, Jacob Dubay. Eighth, Abby Bianchi. Ninth, Seth Hilfiger. 10th, Carly Cronewitter. We are now going to make our selection for Champion Division 3. We'll have our first and second places from Class 7, 8, and 9.
division champions, we need you ready, and sheep division champions. Sheep division champions, we need you ready. And near the livestock scale at 2:45 so we can go over to the grand champion drive selection.
As these goats got bigger today, I wasn't sure what we're getting into, but I've been really impressed with the quality. They've been good, high quality set of does today, and I think all three of these class winners out here in our seconds are very good representatives of that. We take just a second here and talk about them. The doe that wins the first class, man, from the side, she's deadly. I get it, you know, she's just one that balances extremely well. Her front end's really good. Her rib cage reads phenomenal. One that balances so good. Now, is she the stoutest one out here? Ain't no question about it. No, she's not. And she looks to be very wide, but you run your hand on her back. I love to drop her spine down ever so slightly and square her edges up. It's one thing for me. I'd like to change her, but that's being awful critical on a really high quality female that wins that first class. Maybe like to turn her knees ever so slightly and get them going forward just a little more. The one that was second in that class, we love her terminal shape. Don't see quite the ladylike look that you see in that class winner, but that's an awful nice pair there. The one that wins the second class, man, you're talking about one that hits the ground with some stoutness of foot and bone, one that's got a nice look from the outside, and then she was just so much stouter than the one right behind her. She probably is one of the two most impressive does out here to the touch. Her squareness right out of her shoulder and big square loin edge in that doe, awful good. Not quite as fresh in terms of her hair and her appearance as some of them we see out here, but that's an awful nice female right there that wins that particular class. The one that was second to her, man, she's immaculate in terms of the way she's presented. One that's really shapely, not quite as wide and as stout as some of them out here, but again, that one is an awfully good looking one from the side. Then the ones out of class 3, and the one that wins that we picked on her, better condition a little bit, but those of you standing to the side, I think she balances still extremely well. I think she's got an awful lot of power. She's one of the two stout featured ones out here in terms of study her at the ground and her base width and her bone. I think awfully good. The one that was second to her, we talked about her just being fought free, and I think she still is out here in this lineup. So really a challenge is set to sort through. This one was fun though, because we got these bigger does out here. There's a couple of them out here that just suit me the best. I'm not going to say they're perfect, but I think in terms of just putting a lot of positives together, they're just awfully good. I commend all of you. Awfully good set of does. You take your pick which ones you like the best. For me today, I am going to go ahead and tie into the young lady at the first class. She's going to have your champion. The one right behind her is going to be your reserve. Congratulations to both of them. Nice job.
Congratulations, Grand Champion Elena Santiago from Class 7. And Class 8 is where we got a reserve champion for Tiffany Sunday. We'll now select our overall Grand Champion breeding doe. We'll need all division, grand, and reserve champions. Class 3, we're going to need, Division 1, we're going to need Tate Bittner, Rise Ledlow. Division 2, we're going to need Betsy Swager and Carly Wheeler. And of course, Division 3, we need Elena Santiago and Tiffany Sunday. Please come back in the room.
Okay, a reminder, those of you with the sheets going over to the grand drive, 5 minutes to get down here to the scale. 5 minutes. Need those 10 lamps down here ready to go over for the grand drive.
folks, this has been fun. It's been a privilege to sort through these does today, and had fun yesterday in those weathers and market goats, and today to sort through these females. I can't tell you how impressed I am with the quality from the first division to the last division. I'm not going to say I picked the ones that everybody liked the best, but I can rest assured that I picked the ones that I like the best. And unfortunately, that's just the best I could do for you today, is find the ones that just suited me awfully well. And I'm very content. We get them back out here. As you look across them from the first division, there's a pair of them in class, and we stayed with them all day long. From there, just awfully high quality. And then you got the middle division, the one there that's just incredible in terms of her shape and look and balance and width there. A female that touches so good. One in the second to her is reserved in that division. A lot of the same can be said. Third division, we picked on those a little harder, but man, those are good goats, folks, and I can't tell you how good these goats are. And as a guy that, like I say, my boys would love to be in the goat business, and I'm a little hard-headed and like to find the right one if we're going to do something like that. And a guy'd be awful particular to have any one of these out here, because I think as we look at them and try to find stock that are just built right at the ground, have some look and balance, and strap on as much muscle as we can put on them. All 6 of these do that awfully well. So again, it's been a privilege. I've enjoyed the mess out of it. It's been a lot of fun. I look forward to going over and picking the champion markets goats here in just a little bit. But at the end of the day, there's a pair of them that just suit me. I mean, again, there might not be everybody's kind, but if they ain't, I'm not sure what kind you like. But these two are awful good. We're going to go ahead and stick with those two at the first division. Congratulations to those. Nice job, guys.